Hey, going there, guys? Back again, fashionably late as always, but I am here. Bit of a wild one today. I got, a lot of people doing stuff around the house, so we might hear some noises. But apart from that, I'm here. Sorry for missing Thursday's stream. A couple of family issues required that needed to be looked after. After all, family does come first. Testing up a new setup with the microphone setup. As you can see, I'm a little bit off-skewed in the background and things are a little different, so hopefully it will work out well. But yeah, so I will be around. Again, I'll be discussing the topic of the week, which will be methods and their applications. So but hey, if you're popping on in, let me know what the new setup feels like. If you can hear me properly, I've got my mic set up on its stand. If I need to make myself a little bit louder, let me know. Hey, DongDong, thanks for coming along. So yeah, no, as I was saying, I've got a new setup going, and yeah, if you can give us a shout out if the audio's looking good, because I've got my mic just there, screen's just over there. I've got a backlight, so hopefully the lighting looks a little bit better now. But yeah, no, so if you can see me, give us a shout out. I can edit the way this all sets up. Yes, I can. Look at that. Beautiful. But yeah, so methods. You can turn your voice up a little. Alright. How are we thinking? Is that better? But yeah, as I was saying, thank you for that, DongDong. Divination and their methods and their application. So a big one about this is you don't always tend to see. So different people obviously use different methods, and so I myself have got my tarot cards, my runes, and I recently developed scrying. Now, this is not every method is designed for every specific query. For example, runes are very crass and straightforward, I find, and getting them in on a love query can oftentimes leave the querent feeling a little bit attacked just from the message and how they present it. And same goes for scrying. Scrying is, well, I'll admit I'm not the best scryer. I do pretty well. I've had querents tell me that my readings are accurate and they bring some good bit of information, but I'm not somebody who can get defined details, so to speak. So if somebody was to come talk to me and ask me for a scry on a specific query, you'll often see it in my stream. I'll go to my cards or I'll go to my runes and just double check and maybe get a little bit of clarification on it. It is super hot here, so I'm gonna get that fan in on this action. But yeah, so then when applying a different methods to different queries, I also like to double check with my querents, because if some people specifically don't like runes. I've come across a few querents who are like, ugh, I don't like that. It doesn't sit right with me. And hey, perfectly okay. I don't exactly enjoy Goetia. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to touch that, but I know plenty of people who work with it successfully. So it's always good to double check with your querents, I think so, in asking them what they want, and especially even if you're going to go out of your way for them and go, oh, I had a bit extra. Some people don't like that. Some people are like, no, just give me what I asked for. So it is. How's the stream looking? Not too bad. So yeah, it's so it's got a double, it's got two meanings there. Obviously, first off, making sure that you're picking the right method for the query specifically that your querent is asking, and the second one being that if just double checking and making sure, saying, rather than diving in and doing the reading, going, hey, look, this is what I'm going to use. Are you okay with that? Again, most people that are getting divination anyway aren't going to be picky, but You know, like I was saying with the querent earlier, they had a bad experience when they were younger with runes, and they just did not, like, they got a rune reading. It was obviously the reader wasn't nice, or there was something about it that left them feeling off, and so they're just not a real rune person now anymore, which is perfectly okay. But hey, if you guys have any queries, you have anything for me, shoot it through down there. You'll click on the little button that says query, takes you over to my website, fill out the information, and it'll send it straight through here to an email. So, not sure how many people are here, but we will see. Yeah, but hey, if you have any questions as well, feel free to throw them out in the chat room. Happy to answer questions, otherwise it's just me rambling on. So depending on what happens with this particular stream, I might end it early on Saturdays because I do have work, and so trying to finish it up, then quickly get changed and jump out to work if you know the stream does run over to like its 2.5, 3 hour marks, as it has a few times. But I think it's going to be a little bit cruisier today. It seems that it's a little bit easy going. I like that the screen's on my right side now, because now it gets my good side of my face. As you can see, I need a haircut, need a shave. It's been the foot's healed up, so that's really good. I stood on a sewing needle and that put me out for 3 weeks, so that's all healed up, so I can actually get back to swimming. I can go out to the hairdressers and actually get a haircut. DongDong. Excellent. First reading. Hey, Lucid. Great to have you here, man. Always appreciate it. It's been good. Pretty slow. I only just woke up and I had my first coffee of the day. Got some pork cooking away, so that's nice. That's going to make for a really nice dinner. I am a little tired. Again, as I was saying, family issues over Thursday and Friday, so a little bit tired. But hey, we'll run through it. And the lighting is a little bit different because I've got the light shooting up onto the background, trying to with the way I was getting the natural light in, it just kept shifting. The the brightness controller on the camera kept auto shifting, and I couldn't find a way to turn it off, and it just kept messing up with the stream I found. So guess I'll have to look tired. But yeah, so DongDong female, green line, energy scrying. Should I accept any invitation for social events from my friend? Is this like one specific invitation? Or is this like any of their invitations? Damn, I do look tired. So, is this like, are you asking about, should you accept this specific invitation? Like, hey, they asked me to do something, should I go to it? Or is this more of a general, should I accept any of the invitations for things they want me to do together? Because two kind of different readings there. Catch up chat room. I really need to put the chat room in the stream. It's nothing special, but we're saying that we're going to hang out sometimes. Okay, so yeah, general, gotcha. So any of their invitations. Green line. Alrighty, so as I was focusing on the green line, it started the vision, and it, conscrewed and turned itself into a snake. Now the snake was on a desk, and near on the desk was an apple in a bowl. So I reached over to grab the apple, and the snake slithered over, wrapped around the bowl, and hissed at me and tried to bite me. So I pulled my hand back, and I went, oh, okay. So then I was trying to distract it with one hand and get with the other hand, but that wasn't working. And eventually I just went, you know what, whatever, and I walked away. The snake sat there around the apple for a little bit, and then it got bored and it just slithered off into the darkness. In which case, then I was allowed to get the apple and eat it. What I think this particular vision is saying is that you should be, probably the first couple of ones you shouldn't go for straight away. I get the feeling there's going to be some sort of issues or things that are going to come into your way that, a viper tends to be somebody who is real, not on the great level. And so I believe that you're going to come across a viper which could potentially bite you if you try to go for these fruits, so to speak. From there, it seems that maybe, back away and go, okay, you know what, I don't really care. I don't really need these, and then sort of give it that moment where the snake can be like, I won. This is boring. What am I going to do now? I'll go off this way. And then with that, and then that's when you can enjoy the fruits. But so, I think I would say, should I accept any invitation for a social event? Probably not. Don't deny them, but just sort of be like, not my thing. Until that viper is slithered away, and then you can go into the fruits. I think it might also be saying to pick and choose when to go for these events. If this, particular reading has any bearings on a specific person, that viper or that snake may very well be identifying a specific person and saying that the events that you should go to are the ones where the snake's not involved. Ask them and be like, oh, hey, is such and such going to be there? No? Alright, cool, I'll go along. And there's no problem in saying that. Oh, I don't really like them, I don't want to hang around them. And then so pick and choose when you accept invitations. Probably get a bit more information about them before you actually jump in and say, yeah, I'll do that. But it's probably hold off on the next 2 or 3. Give them, just be like, nah, I'm fine. And then sort of be like, oh, yeah, maybe I'll go for it. So, but hey, yeah, thank you for your query. That was short, sharp, and sweet. Seems like it's a very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Quiet day. So it still is for me. Still waking up. Oof. Had a bit of a big week. Oh, baby, I did. But nonetheless, we're gonna have a bit of fun here. Hey, anytime. If you want to throw me some feedback, feel free to swing it through on my email. You can use the system as I was saying before, and just put feedback in the name topic so that I know it's you. I'm pretty sure that you've got my personal email though, so feel free to swing me through some feedback that way. But yeah, it's real dead today. Usually I'm like, hey, I got 2 or 3 read-ins, I'm ready to go. So depending on what happens, might keep this one short, sharp, and sweet today. There he is. I was going to say, where's Admiral Wrinkler? Good old Vale. Welcome, Admiral Wrinkler. Always nice to have you. It's funny that I know when he turns up because I've got a little pop-up thing that's Admiral Wrinkler has just started watching. It's got like a little wavy person that can't really see what that is. That probably isn't helping my looking tired. That screen light just... Let's move that over there. Alright. But yeah, no, if you guys have any more queries, swing them to me. As you can see there, that was just a perfect example of methods in their applications. wasn't able to get a lot of information out of that particular reading. At least I felt, the querent may very well have gotten and gone, hey, look, that all matches up. But that's an example of of a query tied with a method that I probably wouldn't have used with if it was my personal choice, purely because, again, scrying's not my greatest method. It's my most newest, actually, and so I don't believe that it'll give enough information that I can pass on, my personal opinion on the matter. And so when picking and choosing a method to apply to, the particular query, it's always good to make sure that you're thinking about, one, what do you want out of the reading? And two, whether or not that you're giving enough information and giving, picking the right method for your reader. Because again, readers come across differently. You'll notice my energy scries are different from my empath, which are different from my runes, which are different from my tarot and how I present them. My tarot cards are very almost report-like. I lay it out for you. I go this, that, this, and this is, all the information. Now this is my personal dissertation on it. The runes just sort of come out and they're just laid there on the ground, and then it's just, that's kind of lining up with this and that's moving with that. A lot more free form. Empath and energy scry, although they're closely tied together, different again, how I present them. Again, scrying is a very first-person view of a particular scene or, imagery. My empath readings look deep into a person's energy and have a squiz at their path and see what's going on there. So again, it's that making sure that you're lining up your query with the best particular method so that, not only you can get the best answers that you want and, come out of the reading going, cool, I got what I needed out of that. But also so the reader themselves can understand that, the reading they're giving. Because a reader who is left in the dark can only really much tell you what's in front of them. And if you do that, you're actually denying yourself a lot of information, a lot of wisdom that comes with readers, because especially ones who've been doing it for a while, because they know enough about the nuances of cards and runes and imagery, and if they know enough about the query, then they can start going, oh, okay, that can kind of line up to this, and then that can move over to there. Purely speaking, like if you go to a reader, obviously you're wanting some insight into the particular query. Anyone can grab, deck of tarot cards and do readings for themselves. The reason why most people tend to go to readers is because they're like, well, we want your information on this. We want your wisdom, the cards obviously, but can you also tell us, the deeper meanings of the cards and, how they interact and what is connecting with what and how is that meant to be like this. And so again, when you choose a method, I guess that also kind of lines up into the query, the querent's query. Ooh, that's a storm. Hell yeah. I think I don't know if my chat room's died. Actually, new internet next week is when they're coming to set it up. Whether or not I'll have it for next week, it is designed to come in on Tuesday next week, which is when I'm meant to do my next stream. So if I'm not here on Tuesday, I will throw it up in my feed chat saying, hey, look, they've killed my internet while they're putting in this new one, yada, yada, yada. Hopefully not. They say they're coming between 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. So let's hope they either come early or late. But nonetheless, if I'm not here, I will let you guys know. Fingers crossed that it's not, because I really enjoy my Tuesday ones straight after gym. And I'm really excited too. If I can get this new internet, then hopefully I can get, a little bit more bitrate. I can be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not as jittery for you guys. And eventually, hopefully, if, I can start getting some funds moving in, I can get a better webcam. Specifically looking at a really nice one, at least so I can put it on the cards so that you guys can see the detail and the artwork in the cards, because that's probably the best part about this whole particular stream. This could disappear again. But nonetheless, if you have any queries... Oh, there's 2 queries. Good job. Just ramble on, Matt. Copy. Alrighty, so, Angel, male. Inner color dark blue water, outline dark red. Nice. Is there a negative entity attached to me, or have I been cursed? I've been feeling pretty bad recently, and regressing back to my old self. Not a good thing. Know all about that regression, right? Yeah, no, you're right, it's not a good thing. I will start with an energy scribe, because that seems to be the best cause, and then we'll move on to whether or not I need some clarification. Alrighty. Let's grab a couple of rooms. Alrighty. So, we'll start off with the empath reading. So I had a look at your energy, and it doesn't seem like there's any particular entity, more so in the sense of it feels more like your environment is now sparking up again, in the sense of where you are, the people you're interacting with. It just seems like the things around your energy are very reminiscent of these bad times, and it's sort of drawing that deeper, darker red to the surface. Almost kind of feels like if your energy, as you know, it kind of feels like when you get lava air pockets, and sort of like that red energy bubbles to the surface and then sort of just explodes. So wouldn't say so much, have you been cursed, or is there an entity? More so the fact that you're being reminded, and things around you are basically bombarding you with all these memories, feelings, emotions, all those sort of things that were you when you were your old self. And what it's doing is it's sparking that part of your brain that goes, oh, X happens, Y is meant to be the the reaction, and that's still tying in together really closely. Now, as you can see down here, we got, I don't know if the actually is worse or better, but we'll see. So we got Answer's Merkstav, and we got Perthro. Now, Answer's Merkstav is the it's Odin's rune, and so when it's Merkstav, it talks about lack of communication, and specifically the bad parts about Odin. So boredom, vanity, ego, loss of voice, both literal and metaphorical. So it may be that that loss of inner voice is what it's talking about here, and that loss of moral guidance and your moral compass, because again, loss of voice again could be literal, but it also can be metaphorical. And so I've had it pop up a few times saying, hey, this is a loss of your inner child, this is a loss of rational thinking, and I believe for you this is a loss of your moral compass, and that's why you're sort of seeping back into who you were. Now so just have a double check. Misunderstandings, delusions, isolation, confusion, disruption of travels. So it may very well be that you're also, coming across these these events, as I was saying, especially misunderstanding and manipulation by others, if there is another person that is also sparking up these these particular emotions and reactions. Now, Perthro, it's an interesting one because it's kind of Merkstar, but it's pointing off to the side. Now, where the hell is my Perthro? There you are, just after Gibbo. So, Perthro talks about joy, glory, spirit, reward, good fortune. So it's a very nice rune. Love rune, beauty, attraction, lasting relationship. Potential for going over the top. It's pointing away, and it's pointing to the right. So the right tends to talk about the future, and the left tends to talk about the past. So again, answers in the past, and Perthro is pointing towards the future. Now, neither of these runes point out to you being cursed or have a negative entity attached to you. And so I believe that both the the energy scrying, or the empath reading was in this case, and the runes are sitting here going, where you are right now is because of your environment. Again, Answers Merkstar talks about disruption of travel, or, being locked down and not being able to move. Again, Odin is always moving, so when you get that Merkstar, it's that very, locked down, caged almost like feeling. And Perthro, actually that's not it's Wunjo, Matt. Sorry, Wunjo. I always see the P, and for some reason my brain just goes Perthro. Now, Wunjo, which is again why I didn't make the connection straight away. It's pointing up and off to the right, which leads me to believe that you need to take it upon yourself to move away from these environments, these thoughts, these problems. Realign yourself. And again, disruption to travel, as I was saying, with the whole idea of moral compass, may very well be that it's spinning on its head and you haven't got a direction. Now, Wunjo is a great card because it does talk about spiritual reward and good fortune, happy house, good company. So it may very well... So the two things I can gather from this is, one, have you been cursed or have a negative entity? No, I don't believe you are. Been feeling pretty bad recently and regressing back to my old self. I believe this is for environment, and also because of the way that you are reacting to stimuli. For me, example, one of my biggest problems is, if I'm feeling down, I buy alcohol, I have a drink, I get, all giggly and happy, I have more drink, and then it becomes like my brain associates giggly and happy with alcohol, and that was something that I really needed to overcome. And so that's the thing, is I believe that you got to try to find what stimuli are resulting in you regressing back to this old self of yours, and break them. That requires a fair bit of emotional intelligence to actually be able to stop yourself and go, hold up, why am I thinking that way? Okay, gotcha. And so that's so it's something that you need to basically sit down and consciously think about, stimuli and reaction and results. And so once you can do that, you can control exactly how, to a little bit. At the best, you can mitigate the negative impacts that these reactions and results are going to have. So Wunjo pointing off to the right definitely leads me to believe that you have the ability to overcome this and to get out of this. But as I was saying, it's going to be more so on the sense of you need to be able to do this, and you need to make conscious efforts to overcome this. And so that's the, so I guess to answer your question, no, I don't believe that you've been cursed or have a negative entity. I believe this is just your environment, and within your environment you need to either change it or leave it. And, but also in the process, as I was saying, understanding that you're reacting to the stimuli in a way that your old self would, and that's why you're regressing, because stimuli, reaction, results. Any feedback you want to provide would be fantastic. I do wish you all the best, man. Good luck on, not going back to your old self. Believe me, I've been there, and done that whole back and forth tug of war with, me and my old self. Admiral Wrinkler. Admiral Wrinkler, light or dark beer? I actually don't prefer beer. Bourbon or whiskey is what I usually go for, and the reason why that is I can drink spirits all night and be fine. I have 2 beers and I'm face first on the floor. Don't know why, just something about the way it's brewed or the hops or something just knocks me 7 ways to Sunday. Can I get a rune cast on a current romantic situation? Alrighty, so we got Awaz, Answers again, and that I believe is Perthro. Let me just double check, and if that is Perthro, then it is halfway. Yes, it is Perthro. Nice, I got it right this time. So we got Awaz, which is upright, Answers, which is Merkstav but on its way back, so it's pointing off this way, and then we got Perthro, which usually the opening points off to the right to be upright. So it's pointing down, which leads me to believe it's on its way to Merkstav. And so it's interesting combination. So first off, Awaz, really great rune. So it's the rune of travel, the rune of horses. Let me actually just get that section. So, yeah, so as I was saying, horses, physical travel, moving, achieving goals. So it being the top rune up here. I really should edit this camera a bit later on. So travel, movement, green lands, gradual development, steady progress, working towards big goals. So harmony, teamwork, trust, loyalty, an ideal marriage. So that's a great rune to see at the top here. First rune is picking up good changes, which it is, it being the top rune. New adventures and major projects. Moving to a new location, literally or metaphorically. So it may very well be ties into that relationship. Now, Answers is Odin's rune, so divine breath, speech, orate, intellectual pursuits, advice, wisdom, fuss, changes, still the mind and look to your intuition. Now, it's kind of on its side in Merkstav, so as I was saying before, misunderstanding, delusion, loss of voice, both, literal and metaphorical, not getting your ideas or thoughts heard, isolation, confusion. Now, which isn't a bad particular reading, but as you can see, Ansys and Perthro, which are both kind of half Merkstav on their own little thing, is a little bit of distance away from Awaz over here. Now, Awaz, I'm believing, is like the overall and saying, hey, this is good, this is a great potential for a romantic bond. However, these are the warning runes I'm feeling, because they're a bit closer tied together. So, to keep that in mind, communication is going to be a big one. Now, Perthro is a really nice rune. It's a rune of, if I can find it, so it's mystery and amusement and kind of occultic. It's death and birth. It's very feminine rune. Obviously, it looks like a vagina, as you can see. And so it's, feminine mysteries, secret matters, hidden things. The fact that it's down the bottom as well, and that you're talking about a woman, may very well be that she's got some hidden agendas herself, things that you need to communicate and bring out. Gambling, winning and losing through gambling, otherworldly pursuits, so she may be a little bit spoopy. Now, we'll check out what it is when it's Merkstav. So, addiction, stagnation, loneliness, malaise. So she might, might have an addiction to something. She might be overly dependent, being with, the loneliness. Fate can deal a crushing blow when Perthro is Merkstav. Might be due to overestimating your abilities or chances of success. Overcommitting. Play it safe. There are more facts in play that you are unaware of. Hedge your bets. So that is the final rune. Kind of leading me to believe, don't go gun-ho for this woman. Just sort of ease your way in. Hedge your bets, as you're saying. Don't just drop all your money on this particular romantic pursuit. But also don't just, back away from it. It's Awaz up the top here is definitely giving me some nice strong vibes. But these two both these two runes are definitely giving me the... Is that... Why is that camera off? That's better. More close to the middle. PERthRO is definitely giving me the... PERthRO and Answers, both kind of Merc staff, not. It's giving me the feeling that there's other things in play here, there's other things going on. You know, communicate, use your voice, talk about things back and forth. And PERthRO is definitely, considering PERthRO is the very bottom, I get the feeling it's kind of like an iceberg. You know, this is the tip part. You know, AWA's up here. It all looks really nice as an iceberg, but as you get deeper, you know, there's some problems here that you need to keep an eye on. There's some problems that you need to work through if you want to chase this as a romantic interest. Not saying you should drop it, but I'm definitely saying that don't go gun-ho into this. You know, play it a little bit easier, play it a little bit safer. Learn more about this person and, you know, the back and forth before making any commitments or, you know, overly committing yourself to this one woman. Don't, again, it's like gambling. Hedge your bets and go, you know, she's could be a potential winner, but we'll see how it goes. I'll throw a couple of bucks on here and we'll see what happens. Again, this reading kind of gives me the feeling of like a tree, in the sense of this is the top half, but you got to look at the roots. If the roots are rotten, then there's no point keeping the tree. So that just sort of came to me with the iceberg one. I thought I would include that as well. Another married chick. You know what? Actually, that could very well be true, and please keep me up to date on that, because Answers being Odin's rune, and Odin being, you know, very ownership and these are mine, and PERthRO being their feminine secrets and hidden things, and there's more at play. If this is another married woman, that I would actually really like you, if this, please keep me up to date on whatever it is about this particular rune reading, because I do keep my book of notes, and everything in here is handwritten, that I've learned as I've gone along. Might help if I actually put it in here. So as you can see, the more I learn about my runes, and the more I learn about specific, you know, readings with them, I can jot it down and go, oh, can sometimes include that. So if you could give me some feedback on this, that would be fantastic. Because if this is a married woman, that kind of makes sense with that PERthRO looking away and that Answers pointing down. Lucid, thank you. I need to work on my EQ and get over myself. I've been able to identify some issues that have been causing me to regret, but I tend to shut down. Yeah, that's one of the biggest problems about identifying these issues, is it's all well and good to know what's wrong with you and go, well, I know that's, you know, you can identify A to B to Z, as I was saying with the, you know, the stimuli reaction results. It's a very hard process to actually take reactions, break them down, and build up something new in its place, because that requires a lot of energy. And as you were saying, you tend to shut down, and that's the biggest problem is if you shut down, you go, oh, I can't do this, I can't look at that, I can't think about this, because it's that feeling of, you know, it's too hard to change. Or in my particular case, one of the biggest problems I had was a fear of failure. Now, if I fail, everyone knows I failed, and it's egg on my face, and oh, look, he's a failure. And so I always convince myself in a really dumb fashion is, if I don't try, and I fail due to not trying, it's not a failure because I never tried. And so you're still a failure because you fucked up, you screwed up, you didn't do it, you didn't succeed. But for some reason in my mind, that was enough for me to convince myself that I didn't have to change things or do things, because if you never try, it's not technically a failure because of your lack of skill, it's a failure because you just didn't do. So you can always kind of convince yourself, oh, you know, I would have been able to do that had I tried. Big 5 Myers-Briggs Strength Finder inventory. I know what all those are. I'm just trying to think what are they playing into here. Nonetheless, we'll move on to DongDong. DongDong, female, light blue envelope. What steps should I take to escape where I'm living? I've noticed that mostly your responses for my queries, this place where I'm living now is stopping me from all joy and good things. Yes, I feel trapped here, so some kind of advice on it would be great. It's not easy to throw this form day to day. I'm confused about that last line. Oh yeah, no, definitely. Actually, you're really right, Admiral Wrinkler. Doing the Myers-Briggs type indicator, the Big Five, and the Strength Finder inventory are really, really great pieces of advice to understanding how you work, both your strengths and weaknesses. Thank you, Admiral Wrinkler. Didn't even click that, I should talk about that. Specifically in the sense, so, for example, for Myers-Briggs, I am an ENFP. So, extroverted, intuitive, feeling, perceptive. Now, my biggest issues here is P. I hate that perceptiveness. Purely because I strive and I thrive on routine. I love routine, which is why I try to hit this at, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I have my gym routine. I love my taekwondo. I like my work, which is why being off work just drove me completely insane. And so I strive on having a routine and knowing what I'm doing every day. Now, giving the finger. The big problem is who I am isn't that. It takes a lot of effort for me to maintain a routine. It takes a lot of effort for me to keep a routine, to build a routine. Because even though I love it and I strive on it and I work best on it, there's still that part of me that goes, whee! Just off and let's do whatever we want. And so that's something that you need to keep in mind, is that, as Admiral Wrinkler was saying, going through these particular, doing the tests and understanding and reading up on them and learning a bit more about yourself allows you to mitigate the problems of yourself. No, that's all good, DongDong. So, thank you, Admiral Wrinkler. No, that's all good. I kind of figured that as well. But yeah, so Lucid, definitely grab what Admiral Wrinkler said there. Have a look at them, do the tests, read up on them, and definitely come to learn a bit more about yourself. There is also a book that I read. If you give me a second, I'll try to think of it. It's not coming. I'm going to do this reading for DongDong, but I will have a squiz because I think the book is in my bedside table. It's a really great book, again, for self-discovery. But nonetheless, so we'll do this reading for DongDong. What steps should I take to escape from where I'm living? I think this is going to be a tarot reading as well, so I'm going to do the energy scry, see what I can find as per your request. Afterwards, I will grab the cards out. Actually, I'll grab them out now to get them prepared. And begging me not to go. How you feeling today, baby? So we'll give her a little shuffle, get her ready. There we go. And so, light blue envelope. Okay. I love my stream. 2 people in the chat room just... Thanks, Admiral Wrinkler. Love heart. I like that. We're all just one big happy family. Guess that's a little better. I think, maybe. Oh, bugger it, I'll figure it out later. But yeah, so we've got the 10 of Swords reversed, and the 2 of Pentacles reversed. This is ruled over by the 10 of Wands reversed, and this is cancelled by the 3 of Cups and the Devil. Interesting that you get a lot of reverse cards in the things, because so the ruler card being the 10 of Wands, and I'll read this because it makes it a lot of sense. And that is, so stopping too soon, faltering in a task. So that's the first one in saying that, you know, you need to get, like you're saying, you know, it is saying that, you know, mostly your responses from my queries, this place where I'm living is now stopping me from enjoying things. That's true. And it is saying that you need to get out. Now, the 10 of Swords reversed and the 2 of Pentacles reversed. The 2 of Pentacles reversed talks about taking on too much and dropping everything. Everything just falls to the ground, you know, broken because you tried to juggle too many things at once. Now, the 10 of Swords reversed is interesting because it kind of lines up with the 10 of Wands reversed. You know, losing hope and giving up, being melodramatic over something. So it may very well be that these 3 cards right here are saying that you do need to keep moving and keep doing what you're doing. The thing I'm getting right now is that now is not the time to get out. Like, even though all my readings are saying get out, get out, get out, these 3 cards are saying, you know, that by trying to force this move and trying to get out soon and like quicker, it's going to just blow up in your face. The 2 of Pentacles reverse especially saying that, you know, you're just going to drop everything trying to do too much at once. The 10 of Wands reverse. Now, the 10 of Wands. Here is a man. So here is a man. He's had 10 wands put on his back, right? Now, the way that they're put on there and the way that he's got it set up means that he couldn't do it himself. Somebody's helped him put these, like, set him up like this. Now, the other thing is, he's carrying all 10 at once, which leads me to believe that the journey and the trek is very, very long. You know, why would you carry all 10 wands at once if you're just going to go around the corner? Pick them up 2 at a time. Now, the thing about that card is this is a very long journey. You don't want to rush it, because if you trip and slip, you're going to drop all the wands and you won't be able to get yourself set up like that position again. But you also don't want to stop and give up, because the moment you put the wands down, again, you're in the same position, you're stuck. You know, the wands are now on the ground, you can't pick them up the same way you had them before. So this is very much a long journey. This is a kind of like that line out of A Knight's Tale, you know, to trudge the, you know, long, weary journey. And so that's the thing is, and again, the 10 of Swords reversed is saying, look, you know, you don't give up hope. Things are coming. They're just coming in their own time. You can't really rush these things. So, despite all my other readings saying that you need to get out, you need to go, you need to do, you need to get away from this place, these 3 cards are saying now is not the time. For example, I'm currently trapped by my life decisions and past choices in exactly where I can go. I would love to go, specifically go study full-time some medicine, specifically chiropractics. That's something I'm very, very interested in. However, I know I can't. I have, you know, a multitude of things which have popped up in my life which restrict me from doing this. Is it frustrating? Yeah, sure. Am I letting it control me? No. I still have my stream. I do this as something that, you know, to keep me motivated. I have my online studies, even if I can't go study chiropractics, which requires you to be there physically, and the only place is like a 4.5 hours drive away, and I'd have to move there. I'm still doing online studies. I'm still getting accreditations. I'm getting certificates. I'm building my repertoire of knowledge. And I'm also going to go back to uni next year and start getting my bachelor's finished. Now, even though these aren't directions that I specifically want to go in, as in, I would love to just go do my chiropractics courses and, become a chiropractor. That's dream job. It's not what I can do right now. So I'm making the most of my bad situation. Now, the 2 council cards kind of lines up with this. And I believe that, so you got the 3 of Cups, which is, simple joys and being surrounded by the simple pleasures and love. So if you look, it's my favorite cup card, actually, because you got 3 friends all dancing. They're pouring 2 cups into a communal 3rd cup. So it's very much that surrounded by your friends and loved ones and, family as well, but it's more those people that make you happy, those simple joys. Now, the Devil usually talks about reckless pursuit of pleasure. Now, because it's in the future council position, I don't think what this is saying is that. I think it's saying that you need to allow yourself pleasure. Yes, what's happening right now and where you are stuck is kind of frustrating, but don't let it get you down. These 2 cards, the 2 council cards, are saying enjoy the simple pleasures and allow yourself to have pleasure in this particular area or moment in your life. Sure, you're not around the people that, exactly make it easy, but it doesn't mean that you can't make the most of a bad situation. Now is a time to, I'm assuming also, that this part right here is either due to finances or particularly family can be a burden and a weight when you're trying to do and make the most of your own life. It may very well be you just don't have the means to move away. And again, that 2 of Pentacles reversed is saying, don't try to gun-ho it over into a new particular town or new city or whatnot, because there's that age-old story is they go to a new city, nothing works out, and they get into an even worse position. So this particular part is about smart planning, especially this 10 of Wands reversed. It's a long journey. Start the planning now, make realistic goals, make realistic plans. Okay, I will get this by that date, I will get that by this date, I will have this by that date. This is the date that I want to have X amount set up or saved away so that I can at least have the means to check out for places in the new city. Exactly. So, small growths. Build yourself from the ground up, small growths. I could have potentially gone back to uni this semester. I didn't because I didn't want to gun-ho it. I've been doing online courses, getting myself back into that mindset of studying, getting myself back into that mindset of, okay, do this, do that, make this a daily occurrence when I look at my, I look at my studies and I look at this. So it's about small incremental growth. If you are stagnant, I guess the easiest way to explain it is if somebody is, if somebody has been found in the desert and they're starving and, they've been slowly dying, they tell you to take little sips of water, to eat incremental bits of food, a little nibble here and there, because if you try to just you're going to feel sick. Your body has adjusted to this lack of nutrients and lack of water. And if you try to just jumpstart the system over and overload it, you can actually send people into shock just from the the sheer amount of what they have, the change in the what the body is expecting. So little growths. I would recommend doing online courses if you can get a hold of them. There's some very, very cheap ones and some very great ones to get your mind moving again. I will also drop, I believe I have your email. If you want, I will drop the Rule of 3 routine, which is something that I designed and have shared with people. And I find it's very, very helpful with restarting, just restarting yourself and getting yourself back into those good habits and getting yourself moving again. Very simple, very easy to complete. It's, maybe 5 to 10 minutes per day, depending. But it's just something really simple. Do it every day and just start to see the changes that happen in, you know, both your mind and the way that you perceive the world. But yeah, the big thing here is to, even though moving is what I say in all my queries, right now is probably not the best idea or the best time to do this. Small incremental changes to slowly build yourself up. Sit down and make realistic goals is the first big one. Thank you for your query. I really enjoyed it. What have we got? Got 2 more. Did I click? No, that was that. Alrighty. So I will do these 2 more queries, and then I think I'll leave it there for today. Just because, again, you know, first day back to work, I've got to go in early, do the return to work form because of injury, and yada 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 yada. So I'll keep this one a little bit shorter, keep this one a little bit smaller. There you go. Admiral Wrangler is on point. I like this guy. You can also find some really great online, what's the word? Come on, think of it, Matt. University, colleges, academies that have like really cheap, and if you look around, you can find like even discount codes. Again, they may not be for exactly, definitely, the qualifications or accreditations that you need or want, but it's still getting yourself realigned with that mindset. Like I've done just a bunch of basic ones like bookkeeping, HRM, teaching English as a second language, those sort of ones. They're only like, you know, Cert 3s, or like I think one of them was a diploma, which I think was the teach English as second language, but they're still great to get your mind active again and moving again and giving yourself a purpose and a direction. Actually, that was the last week my foot had been feeling really bad, and I thought maybe I got it infected. Turns out it was just getting shitty because the stitches were still in there. So pulled them out yesterday. Foot's feeling better. Yes, actually, funnily enough, that is if you are looking to move away and get out of your current area. TESOL is probably one of the biggest things that you can do, purely because English is such an ingrained language now, and so many countries, European, South American, African, all of the Asian cultures, all want English-speaking teachers. So if you can do a course which is, you know, TESOL, teaching English as a second language, and you also know enough about another language to get by, even most times they don't even mind if you don't know that language. You can be like a higher up English teacher, so, you know, where the students already know a bit of English. So, but it is one of the most versatile qualifications you can get if you're looking to get around the world and move around the world. So, did I end up? I did grab that. I will be back in one quick second. It has started raining, and I think I left my windows down in my car. Alright, we are all good. No windows down in the car, so that's good. Excellent, DongDong. Awesome to hear that. Like, seriously, if you are looking to get away, again, being a being, I'm assuming you're from a European country, if I'm not mistaken, but nonetheless, getting a TESOL certification is also really helps because you can, if you wanted to go to an English-speaking country and you have a native tongue for a language that is quite sought after, you can use that. It works the same way backwards. Can I get a check on career work situation, please? Sure thing. What method do you want, Admiral? Because energy scrying I don't think is going to give the best amount of information. I can do it, but just heads up. Admiral. I guess I'll start with an energy scrying. If he wants clarification, he'll tell me. Okay, there it is, tarot. So I was just gonna say, like, if you want, career and work is a little, I don't know, they're a little hard to give like accurate ones with the energy scrying. Oh, dear Lord, the storm has got me all riled up by the looks of it, and my deck too. So nonetheless, give me a second. Really, deck? Wow, she's really having a bit of a problem today. Come on, work with me, baby, work with me. Alrighty. Oh man. So we've got the Two of Cups and the Moon. This is ruled over by the Seven of Swords reversed, and this is cancelled by the Five of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. So, interesting combination of cards here. So the Two of Cups and the Moon. So the Moon talks about, actually it's been a while since I've had the Moon. I do love the card. But, you know, so it talks about your dreams and intuitions, you know, face your fears even if you do it a little bit at a time. Bloody mosquitoes. And so the Two of Cups here is talking about, a great relationship, one with lots of potential. So even though this is a career work situation, I believe this is talking about a specific bond or bond with your work in general. Maybe that the Two of Cups isn't talking about a specific person and more so your actual, like, you know, workplace. So you've got the Two of Cups with the Moon, so leading me to believe that you need to, kind of saying that you need to connect with people more, but you need to run with your intuition more. You know, this is more, less brain and more, heart feelsy, and it's like, let's get together and let's, if you are in a, chat is asked, if you are currently in a job, these two cards are definitely saying connect. These two cards, sorry. I need to rework how that camera sits. I might need to just get a stand for it. Rework how these two cards connect and how that they're aligning with each other. So, talk to your workmates, get a little bit closer with them. Not lovey-dovey, but more, build a rapport. Now, the Seven of Swords is an interesting one reversed because it talks about theft, impetuous behavior with dire consequences. So it may very well be saying that, it may be that there's a person, or there's maybe an event, actually, that feels more right. There's an event coming up which is going to cause a bit of stir and a bit of problems among your workplace. Theft, impetuous behavior with dire results. That sort of something's going to happen, and it may be that it is a love bond building within your particular workplace, cards are a little all over the shop. So the Five of Swords, you know, a hard-earned victory that comes at a great loss, and the Six of Pentacles, which is providing charity and helping those in need. So, career work situation. This is really interesting because I'm a little confused. Like, are you currently in a job? Do you currently, like, are you looking for a job? Because there's a lot of ways that this could be interpreted. Alright, well, is there, would you happen to know if there's like a romance going on within your the workplace, the people there? I will allow that to come through. New manager is complete cunt. So I get the feeling that there's going to be a blow up. Especially with this Two of Cups and that Seven of Swords, there's going to be... That Seven of Swords is definitely going... I feel that. Like, you know, there's going to be a blow-up. There's going to be some sort of, you know... Some sort of, like, spark that just makes things go crazy. And so... The moon here is, you know, listen to your intuition. Don't try to get all... You know, I believe that is saying, you know, you need to... I'll read the actual line to you because it explains it better than I ever could. Pay attention to your dreams and your intuition. Face your fears even if you do so little at a time. Attend to your soul. So it may be that this is saying that you need to be careful about how much you get involved. The Five of Swords leads me to believe that there's going to be a fight. Like there's going to be some sort of battle. Again, a hard-earned battle with great loss. So it is a victory, but, you know, how much did you lose to get it? Now, the Six of Pentacles in the Future Council card is, you know, the providing charity and helping those in need. So it may very well be saying that within your workplace there's going to be those who are going to need your help. It may be that during the aftermath, being that that's the Future Council card, you're going to need to provide a little bit more, or maybe step up into position. If you're getting a new manager, that Seven of Swords might be what sparks it off. Him being that new manager, and that he might not like the whole lovey-dovey situation going on down here. So, I guess the be-all and end-all is to just keep your head down and be careful. You know, don't get too involved, but at the same time, don't disassociate yourself. I get the feeling that you're probably going to have to be put in a place where you have to choose sides. You know how people do that. It's like, oh, what do you think about this? And you're like, can I not just be a part of any of it? So keep your head down, but also be there for those who need it. That's a very tenuous situation from that reading. Ooh. So I guess the biggest thing I can say is stay out of the warpath of this, you know, this new manager. But on the same note, try to run that thin line between, you know, loyal to the employees, but, you know, also on the manager's good side. So yeah, it's let me know how that one goes. I wasn't too sure about that particular reading, so you know, if it does work out or not, you know, let me know. That felt a little bit off, that one. Yep, that sounds like a good plan. So, but yeah, no, let me how that whole situation goes, because I'm not exactly sure about that particular, that query. It, you know, it doesn't feel too on point. Nonetheless, Angel Mail. Can you tell me more about the nature of my guardian angel? Method is up to you. I can try. We'll have a look. I guess tarot cards again. Run with these. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'll give you a quick scribe before I get into Angel, who will be the last one. Alright, so yeah, the storm's rolling in, so I think I might actually have to cut this off here. So sorry, Angel. I will grab you next time. In fact, I'll do the reading. I'll send it through personally. But yeah, I definitely get the feeling that I'm gonna lose power soon. So I'll leave it up here. Admiral Wrinkler, quick scry. I was walking through a battlefield. There was men, falling over, wounded and dying left and right. I went and I healed both of them. But upon healing, coming along and healing them, I turned them around and basically punched them in the back of the head and told them to get back to their side. Don't bother killing anymore. And I just kept doing that, healing both sides and sending them back. So, as I was saying before, this feels like a be there for both sides, but also make it very, make it very on point how dumb this battle is, and how that you are a completely neutral party on it all. So yeah, good luck with that. Hit me up next week, maybe Tuesday or Thursday next week for another career reading if you're interested in the whole situation. If anything goes down, let me know. Feedback will be great. I'm gonna leave it there, guys, because that storm's really rolling in hard. Thank you for joining me. I had a great time. I wish you all the best, and love and good vibes be with you.